Today's the September the 11th. Now, this is a poignant day. I remember this day back in 2001. We all know what happened on that day. I think it's etched in anyone who was alive around that day. Is etched in our sort of memories, and I think that time should be taken to absolutely think about those people and the families impacted by that day. Now, for me, on the other hand, there is a birthday today. My middle child, it's her birthday today as well, so it's a little bit of a bittersweet day for me. But I do think that we need to remember the 11th of September for a couple of reasons. Scott, legend of the chat, I hope you're really well, my friend, as well. Also, Charlie Kirk as well, big mention for that as well. Thank you, Scott, as well. Charlie Kirk yesterday, horrific news. I don't know if any of you saw it. Now, this is not about political affiliations. Whether you support what he did or not, or his views. Just absolutely horrific what happened yesterday. A young man, 31, very articulate, very intelligent guy. His life was ended by a person too soon. I watched a lot of his stuff, not because I necessarily agree with necessarily the politics behind it, but just what an extraordinary young man, leaving behind 2 kids, a wife as well. And I just think it's absolutely horrific. And my condolences, are to his family as well. So I think that really needs to be mentioned, and it just goes to show, things like this, as much as this is fun. There are things in life, and there are real things that happen, and things that happen every day. But just absolutely horrific things. But my daughter's birthday today as well. So again, streams are up and down as well. But thank you for being here and spending time with me today. So what did I want to go through today? So as the title says, today I've been going through and thinking about some stuff. Now, again, I think centre midfielder is very up priority wise on our list, and I think again, what we've been talking about on here is the January window has been mentioned again. I think that's all sorts of spin as well, but you never know, right? But I do think it's all a bunch of spin. But right now, right here and now, there is a rhetoric out there that we're going to do. Apparently, Anderson, we're looking at Anderson for the January window. We're going to be looking at a Belieber deal as well. All this spin. So where this is all led to and from is, and I wanted to go over the Fernandes situation. I think we've brushed over this a couple of times, but I really wanted to sort of go through this, particularly with the City game coming up as well. Apparently Fernandes, according to Fabrizio and others, that this could be Fernandes's final year. My instant response to that is, whether I agree with that or not, is whoop-de-doo. Because since when, and we sort of know this, since when do players decide that they can just leave a club, right? The guy's getting paid an absolute ransom. And this is not about him as such, but it just bugs me that these players can sign a contract and then just decide that they're going to leave, even if they've got 3 years, So aside from that, I want to get into Bruno Fernandes. I want to get into this season, on what we think the future holds necessarily. So feel free to get into the chat, get into it. Let's start talking about it. So where I wanted to start off really with the Fernandes stuff is that I think the main thing this year was that the Saudi stuff came out, and this is going to lead into something as well that I wanted to talk about. So please feel free to get into the chat. As you all know, I am the, what's the word? I don't want to keep saying I'm a dictator of the chat, because I'm not, right? I am a conduit of the chat. I talk about stuff, I bring something into the show, and then you guys can come back and you can give me your views and opinions, which that I will read in. There are super chats, memberships available. There's no obligation to do any of that stuff, but that is there just in case you wanted to get involved within the channel a bit more and get involved with the channel in terms of the amazing community. You can get your badge against to your name as well, so just to show the support for this amazing community that we built on here as well. Now, so Fernandes, JB, do you think I was done from the inside? Just your opinion on it. What on the assassination thing, on the Charlie thing. It's cool. No, I mean, I think it's only right that we. I think it's only right that we talk about current events as well. To be honest with you, I need to be careful what I say. Amish says, "What's up, lads? I'm all good, and I think we're all good. Thank you for being here as well." I'll give you my quick opinion on it as well, because we might as well. I need to be careful about what I say, because obviously I don't want to get banned and that kind of stuff. But I think it's important, and this is our community. And if you guys are invested in that as well, I think it's really, really important to talk about this stuff. So, Charlie Kirk, I think the problem is, and this is not a dig at the States. This is just that they're very tempestuous. When you've got a country so full of different opinions and views, I mean, you add into that, to weapons, and you add that ability in where you're able to go and, now from what I understand, Charlie was very much a pro gun, proactive on that, so, and again, I did see some of his speeches in regards to that. So he was a supporter of that. Very, very divisive young man, very, very intelligent young man, obviously had his strong political views. Do I think it was an inside job? I don't. I don't see what. We are. We're not going to get into Nepal. I'm literally just talking about Kirk really, really quickly. Mate, I'm not going to get into Nepal. I'm not getting into necessarily the politics of a country. I'm just going to get on to a singular person just because it happened. So I'm not going to get into all that, mate. I can't. One because I don't know enough about it, and I don't want to. I don't want to delve into topics that I don't know. So all I'm going to say on Kirk is I think it's an absolute awful thing to happen. Do I think it was an inside job? I don't see the benefit. And what I mean by that is I don't see the benefit of, the administration of an alleged inside job. I do have to prefix this with an alleged inside job. Do I think it was? You never can tell. When you're going to the United States at the moment, I don't know enough about the politics necessarily, I know enough, but it's a very volatile state, I think, right now. And when you've got somebody who's potentially adding to that field or giving opinions, and people don't like that opinion, and you add that in a mix with a country that's got weapons, you're always asking, and it's not right. It's disgusting. There are things that happen. You just have to. Exactly. It's an absolute mess. So, do I think it was an inside job? I don't know. My only comment on it would be it was a way, right? So the person would have had to have had some skills. Is a normal person gonna have those sorts of skills? I don't know. I don't know enough about the background. Are disgruntled. You've got disgruntled people in the States, these young kids, these teenagers who do things. I have to be careful about what I say on here, because if YouTube picks it up and I'm talking about this stuff, it could get banned. So there was an incident that happened in a school not too long ago. So you've got a lot of very volatile, very mixed up people in there. Exactly that. So it could be. But again, will we ever find out? Probably not. But I think there'll be lots of conspiracies around the theory. But again, I think from our community as well, and I'm just going to speak from me. I'm not necessarily going to speak from the community, but from myself, is that my condolences to the family and my condolences to his children, because at the end of the day, whatever you take that political affiliation out of it, he was a young guy with a family and kids. So my condolences on that. I'm going to swiftly move on from that one, but yeah. So Fernandes, let's completely shift it away. So Bruno Fernandes. So let's talk about, buddy. What do you think? De La Fuente does not select Belieber in the Spain squad. Asbalde in the Spain squad. N7. To be honest with you, my friend, Germany says Turkish world. Amish says tough week for United, City, coming up City, and then Chelsea. I agree. I will come back to that as well. N7. I don't. Again, I'll read opinions out on here, my friend. So welcome to the chat. I'm not overly bothered about Spain. Spain went to Turkey and absolutely blasted them away. So I think Spain, I don't really think it matters who they're playing. Maybe injuries. I think Spain are probably one of the favourites for the World Cup. I think Spain are just a fantastic team. When you have an abundance of talent like Spain do now, anybody that's left out of the squad, I think, is basically based on injury or potential injury, or the fact they've just got somebody better in that position. So I think Spain know what they're doing. So I think Spain are one to watch. Koeman, yeah. 50 cents. Okay. $50. Don't know what that is, buddy. But it has picked up a knock. Cool. So Bruno Fernandes, again, please feel free to get into the chat. Let me know your thoughts. I'm going to go through some of the Bruno stuff, and then obviously if you deviate away from that conversation, then I'll perhaps pick that up in a bit as well. So Fernandes had an opportunity to go to Saudi League, but basically that didn't happen. Now, irrespective, now I was one of the people who was what's the word? Critical of that decision. Rashford, he got a goal. Rashford, for me right now, I'm not bothered. I am not an England. I'm Welsh, so I've got. Even though I support England in the World Cup, again, it's one of those things for me where I can't really get too involved as such. And the fact that he doesn't play for this club at the moment, Rashford, for me, he looks different. He looks bulkier. I don't know if that's on purpose. Again, it's really difficult to comment on him because I've not seen enough of him in the last 6 months to know if his game's improving up. But from what I saw, pretty much looked like he was doing the same thing. Got the ball on the left-hand side, running and shot. Typical Rashford. So let's hope that he can improve on that one. So United turned down a lot of money for Fernandes. Now, I've got my own theories in this. So number one is this whole talk, we didn't need the money for Fernandes. I don't necessarily think that that's the case. One trick pony, exactly, Scott. I agree. So Fernandes, we turned down the money. Now, why do I think that Amorim and United turned the money down? Now, this is my opinion on it, and you can give me your opinions and tell me where you think. Now, let's pretend for a second that we've got some money. Let's talk United then Chesco starting this derby. Let's do that. So, Amorim, I think ultimately Fernandes is going to go next season. And I think when we're looking at, and the more that I think about it, and I try to look at things from a logical-ish perspective, is that there's a reason why there's talk of Mainoo, for example, not going out on loan. Why Amorim keeps saying he wants him to work hard. Why Amorim keeps saying him, you're behind Bruno Fernandes, and I want you to push Fernandes, because I think Amorim and the club know that Bruno Fernandes is going to go next season, and Mainoo is going to be the replacement for him. We have to accept whether I like this or not, and I will give you my opinion on Fernandes as well. Is that Fernandes replacement for Bruno, or Mason gets a chance? No, not for me. Animish, not for me, my friend. Mason Mount is what people are going to understand about Mason Mount, and they still don't. Mason Mount has a career-threatening injury. He's had it for a little while. Mason Mount is not a centre midfielder. Mason Mount is very unique at the moment on the basis that, okay, a fully fit Mason Mount is a number 10. He's not a number 8. He's a number 10. He's very good at link-up play. You know, when he was at Chelsea and he was that Mason Mount up and down that pitch, I'm not going to dispute he's been one of the brighter players. I still don't think he's been as good as everyone thinks he has. That's just my opinion. That's not me trying to justify my point. That is me. I don't think that Mason Mount is that effective. I don't see assists. I see him do some nice things. How I always describe Mason Mount is, if you imagine a square, in a 3x3 square, he's very good. He gets the ball in that square, but because of his body, he hasn't got that intensity to go past players. He doesn't have that intensity and power to pick up that ball and drive that ball, purely because he can't do that. So Mason Mount, to me, right now, the way that he is, the way that his body is, he's an all-round squad player. I'd love him to be more. He has shown some such good stuff. I want that lad to get better, but I'm not sure if he can. So no. So for me, Mainoo is that number. So this is why Amorim is pushing Mason Mount and wants to keep him, because he wants him to see, and I get it that Mainoo wants to go to a World Cup. But Mainoo, in my opinion, if I was Mainoo at 19 years old, if I was Amorim, I'd say to him, look, I know you want to go to a World Cup, but if you potentially sacrifice that place, you will get into this midfield and you will be one of the best midfielders in this country, possibly the world, in the next 18 months. Hi there to Joseph Blake. So I think that Amorim is pushing him on purpose, because I think what Amorim wants to do is, he knows in the club that Bruno is going to go next season. I think what he wants is he wants a partner for Mainoo. So when Fernandes does go next season, thoughts on Xerxes? I'll give you that opinion as well in a second. So what I think he wants is, I think he wants a replacement for Fernandes, in terms of Mainoo is going to be the guy, and then he wants a Belieber or someone else next to him. And Ugarte, I think Ugarte will probably go, and then he's going to want another midfielder. So I think we're looking. I'd even say for next season we're going to want at least another two midfielders. Scott says, one night we need an after show. Again, we can do an after show, Scott. We can do a random chat. We can do a short chat, and then we can do a random stuff chat. Maybe we can start doing like a members chat. Scott, I think we can do like a members chat. I think that would definitely be the place, because then it means that it brings in people that want to be there. You know, brings in members who really want to be there. So if you want to be part of our members chats, and some of the chats that we have are fantastic, get in the membership. It'll be absolutely fantastic. Scott, yeah, I agree with you completely. I will come back to the Xerxes thing as well. So I think Amorim really wants Mainoo, there is no coincidence that he's pushing Mainoo and telling him to be. So what I think he's saying to Mainoo is, look, if you give up a World Cup this year, by the time the next one comes around, you'll be 23 years old. You're probably not getting into that World Cup squad anyway, because based on last season, like, you weren't good. That's not his fault. He's a young kid. Again, as I've said, he still has time to grow, and he's still got the world at his feet. I think Amorim is playing this really, really smart, and I think that that's what he's trying to do here. Now, Bruno Fernandes, whether I like this or not, and I'll give you my opinions on him as well, is that Bruno is staying because Bruno is loved around the club. There is no dispute from me that he's intrinsic. He's part of the furniture of the club. People love him. He gets the club. I get that. The reason why I would get rid of Fernandes, and I agree with the club on this one, is because when he's coming to a particular age, and why you can get the money in for him, you might as well. And number two, he's not a winner. Like, I think people get caught up in the Fernandes stuff, and I agree. But Fernandes is not a winner. Like, when I say a winner, he wants to win. He is very tenacious. He works hard, but he's not a winner. Like, and people can argue that with me all day long. What is a winner, right? The way that he moves around that pitch. Now, don't forget to give this video a like as well, guys. I know it sounds really, really simple, and I know it's really, really boring. Just double click that screen, give us a like. I promise you, it helps this channel out more than you could possibly know. Fernandes, for me, is not a winner. Now, there's a difference, in my opinion, between being a winner and being somebody who works very hard. You can work very, very hard. You can run around the pitch all day. But to be a winner is something else. And Bruno Fernandes, I think that's the one characteristic that Bruno lacks, is he's not a winner. He's more focused on having a tantrum, and whether you accept that or not. I accept that Bruno has been one of the best players that we've had. You can argue we've not had some great players. So does Bruno look better in comparison? I don't know. But for me, Bruno is not a winner. Bruno is more interested in being petulant. He's ill-disciplined. In my opinion, Bruno is not a captain. He's the best. He's the best of the bad bunch. He's the best that we had. Now, he does get the club. I'm not disputing that Bruno doesn't get the club. I'm not disputing that he doesn't work hard. I'm not disputing that he tries to do everything that he possibly can. But he's not a winner. Bruno is not a captain, and he's not a winner. And at this point, if we can get money for him, then I would get rid of Bruno Fernandes right this second, for those reasons that I've just described. I'll get through the chat, and then I'll get back through some more of those points. So my thoughts on Xerxes is I think Xerxes will leave. I like him a lot. I like him a lot. I think the problem with Xerxes was that he didn't know that the coach was gonna change, and we were going to get two number 10s. I think that we're going to do something different with the number 10s. Xerxes is a good player. We probably need more Xerxes, but I'd argue I'd rather another striker. So I think Xerxes will go. I like him. I'd if he works, But for me, right now, Xerxes not playing. Xerxes not going to get into this first team squad. I don't think Amorim sees him as a first team player. So I think Xerxes will go. I think he's got all the attributes to go and play for a good club. Number 10, 100% a number 10. But for me, if we're looking at rebuilding this team, I think Xerxes goes. So I think that is what will happen there. Animish says Casemiro also doesn't look certain to give. Casemiro's gone. Obi says, hi JB, I hope you're doing well, Obi. Casemiro's gone, mate. He's and as we're talking about that at midfield as well, I think it's really important to talk about that when we're talking about Fernandes as well. Casemiro's gone. So there are reports, and I'll tell you what the reports say as well, right? So today, I've seen reports saying that we're so impressed with the improvement of a Casemiro, and we're going to offer him an extension. That's not happening. I mean, we are not offering Casemiro an extension. And what you are going to be getting is you're going to be getting all this rhetoric and stuff now. If this club offer Casemiro an extension to his contract, I worry about this club. There is no way on that money that Casemiro is going to be offered a 2-year or deal. If he is offered an extension on his deal, it's going to be at a fraction of the price. Now, would I keep a Casemiro at that age? No. I think we need to give Amorim the carte blanche to go through this team, gut this team, and change it completely. So, for me, Casemiro's gone. I would absolutely get rid of him. He's been a fantastic player, but like me and like us all, age comes to the best of us. And, I think he's got to that. Scott says 9 p.m. conspiracy shows. Love it. Maybe we could pick a topic. I'd be happy for the community to come in and we can talk about random stuff. We could have a random community night. I think that'd be quite cool. Or we could do a random quiz night. I'm thinking what we could do, Scott, is do a random community quiz night. Says our leader is Lucha, is the only angry Spartan at our club. That's a bit like Kino, defense between fire and creator. Obi, I like that, my friend. I really, really do. I think that's a very, very good point to make. My thoughts on Lucha are I really hope Martinez comes back. I'm not going to put any negative spin on this. I like him. I'm hoping for the best. And I think you're right. I think he is captain. I think he is a captain material. I really, really do. I know people love Fernandes. I think he's a good player. His time has been. Let's see where we are on that. So let's see when he comes back. And let's see what happens next summer. And Mish says, the old coach, bro, earned damn too much compensation in less than a year. Lucha is a fighter. Bruno is a creator. Yeah, he is. I agree with that, Obi. I think Bruno is that maestro type of player, right? I think the captaincy weighs heavy on him. He's a creative player. He needs to be able to create. Fernandes needs a free role. Now, I don't know how that sits in the Amorim system. I think as a free role player, I think he's brilliant. I'm drinking Fruit Fusion Zero, so from a well-known supermarket. It's their own brand. It basically is like Lil, which is really, really nice. The rebuild needs a 6 and 8 and a fiery winger. You're losing on the weekend, AKM. AKM, that's your opinion, my friend. Welcome to it. I think I in this community disagree. Who knows? I think that we do well against City. But who knows? AKM, it really depends on what City can be anything they want to be, right? That is the beauty of City, right? Is that they can be who they want to be. And what I mean is that we are pretty much entrenched and we're pretty much trying to be something, but we can't be something that we're not. City can be a number of things. City can be a treble winning side. City can be an awful side at times. City can win the league 4 times in a row. City can do whatever they want to. The question is, what City are we going to see? So, and we always tend to do well against them. So let's see. It depends on what City. Animesh says quiz night sounds fun. It's going to be fun. So if you want to participate in the quiz, you need to get your memberships in. I'm going to do a members only quiz. It's not going to just be a football quiz either. I'll do like a random quiz night thing as well. And what I'll do is I'll do it in a way that stops people from cheating. I don't know how, but I'll think about it, and we'll do a quiz night. So watch out for that coming. I will try to do one soon to give us a like on that. And if you want to be part of that, then you're going to have to join the members club. Again, we'll smoke City on the weekend. Lucha just needs to stay fit. That's the issue. Obi, I don't disagree. The bigger thing for me here, Obi, is that yes, I agree. Is that Obi? Lucha does need to stay fit, but what injuries are going to take its toll? And that's my thing here. Is that are the injuries going to be too much for him? So I'm going to be really interested to see after these two big injuries in the last 2 years. He's barely played football. Can he come back? And OB, I'm not too sure, my friend. So let's see if he can come back, stay fit, become that guy, and let's see. Irfan says, hello, Irfan. I hope you're amazingly well, my friend. Cold Logic says, no place for a free roll in a double pivot. Cold Logic, mate, every single time you come into this chat, you come in and you just go bang. I absolutely, your name suits you down to the absolute ground. Completely. I agree with you. You know, this is why we struggle. And I think you're right. This is why we absolutely struggle, is because Bruno Fernandes is ill-disciplined in a pivot. And again, we talk about 6 and 8s on here, right? I've been saying this now for the longest times. I've spoke to a couple of sporting fans. I've been sent some stuff. Amorim doesn't play with a typical 6 and 8. So this is why when we're talking about Fernandes, and we do need to talk about this, and we need to talk about the midfield, is that when we're talking about the midfield, we don't play with 6 and 8s, or that's not what we're trying to do. In this pivot that we're playing, we need to imagine we've got 2 lanes. Okay, centre of the pitch, and our centre midfielders, their job is to run up and down those lanes, is to run up and down the odd side to side, but keep a lane and run up and down those, right? Whether you're 6 or an 8 doesn't necessarily really matter. What he wants in those, so think about wingers, but wingers in the centre of the pitch, right? And he wants his centre midfielders to be up and down that pitch, not necessarily both box to box, but he wants them up and down. So when the team are up, they're up. When the team are on the way back, they bomb back, up and down, and that is their job. Their job, their primary job, is to run up and down that centre of the pitch all day long. Be tenacious in the tackle, be powerful, be good carriers of the ball. So irrespective of whether you're a 6 or an 8, you should be a passer. You need to be able to tackle. Whether you're strong at one or the other, then that's fine. But you still need to be, first and foremost, an absolute athlete in that pivot. And your job is to basically link the play together. Your job is to link that back 5 with the front 4. And that's your job, or the front 3. That is your job. So this concept of 6 and 8, yes, we do have 6 and 8s, but he doesn't. We need to shift the way. So we need to shift the way to two CMs, but one with a characteristic more of a defensive and one with maybe a more of attacking. But it doesn't really matter as long as they're both good athletes who are able to play in those lanes, and that is where we need to be. Lille is horrible. This is all right. United need Inzaghi as their manager. No, thank you. Zainadine, no, thank you. Not for me. If you want to watch boring Italian style football, it's not for me, mate. Well, United's lack of clinicality in front of goal and their new shot stopper scares me for the derby. So what do I think of the derby? And we can come back to that. So the Donnarumma thing, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, he is a fantastic keeper. There is no doubt on that. But it is what it is, right? I mean, it's a bit like saying, right? So the goalkeeper situation to me is a bit like saying, do you want to be punched in the face or do you want to be kicked in the face? Both of them are horrible. Both of them are going to hurt, but one is slightly better than the other one. So there's a situation. So do you want to take a a punt that someone's going to punch you in the face and they're going to have a weak punch and actually it's not going to be too bad? Or do you want to be kicked in the face and, actually they can kick you really, really hard and you're going to take your head off? So it's almost a bit like that. Do you want to be punched in the face or kicked in the, special place? So it's a much of, I don't think it necessarily matters too much on Sunday. But long term for me, I think that's where we need to sort that out. Hard to find answers in 5 seconds. Exactly. Cold logic. I need to score early, or they'll. Yeah. I don't know. I think that the problem is that if we were to go, for example, 1-0 up early, then we'll play defensive. So I almost think for us it's better to kind of, if they're winning, then we get a draw and then we try and nick it at the end. I don't think we're very good at holding on to a lead. I just don't. So I would rather us take the lead later on or be behind and then go and chase the game to try to win the game. So I think if we're ahead early, I think that may hinder us. But I'm still of the opinion Amorim is going to turn this around and we're going to see a completely different team on Sunday. Cole says, so Donnarumma just conceded 4 goals against Israel. Fingers crossed his confidence is on the floor. Fingers crossed. What I'm going to say is, wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be hilarious if we spanked City and Pep got sacked? I'm not going to apologise for that. There's no disrespect to City fans as such, but this is my Kevin Keegan style. I'd love to beat him 6-0 and then Pep gets sacked. That would be my, and I don't say that against any team other than them. If we beat them 6-0, I'd love to spank them and then Pep gets sacked. That for me would make my season. 3 of them were just defenders' faults. 2 of the own goals. He plays with a 6. He plays with a 6 and a 9. Exactly. He plays with a 6 and 3 number 10s. I'd love to see a 5-3-2 formation. Hold midfield, powerful runners on the wings, and 2 up front so they can assist each other. That makes sense. So we're talking about 5-3-2. So you're saying that midfielder, yeah. So midfielder, powerful runners on the wings, and 2 up front so they can assist each other. Yeah, I mean, so you're almost playing. So basically, what you're saying is that you're kind of playing a 2 up front. So you're almost having a. So you've got a striker, more like a second striker, and then you've got like a cam behind, like a number 10, and then you've got maybe like a defensive. Yeah, I mean that's how I used to play Evo. So I used to play Pro Evo, and I used to play like a spine in the team. So I kind of used to play 3 at the back, kind of 2 left and right midfielders, 1 defensive midfielder, and then centre midfielder, a cam, and then 2 strikers. So, yeah, I think I agree with that. Ali Taylor says, hello, my friend. I hope you're doing really well. Obi says, Lemens, where's Rowie, right wing back, Yoro, Delict, Bachariba, centre back, Dorgu, Leon, Baliba, Kamara, Agume, Anderson. Anderson apparently is on the list. Cunha, Shesko looks exciting. I agree. Leon. The only thing I'm going to say is Leon for me. I mean, eventually yes, but Leon for me, I think. I don't know. I think. I don't know about Leon yet. I've not seen enough. I mean, what I'm going to say with Leon's 18, right? I thought Luke Shaw 18 was better. So, do I think we've unearthed an amazing talent? I don't know. I think it's too early to tell. I thought Luke Shaw 18 was better. Leon's 18 as well. So, I like the idea of that. I do. I'm not sure. Baliba, Kamara, Agume, I do like those two. Anderson as well, yes. Cunha, Shesko looks exciting. But where does true. It does. But then there's one very big admission in that team who we just paid £70 million for. So Jomo says 115 charges are completely forgotten. I don't think they are they? Whether City or not get done for that, I don't know. Interesting thing to say, they will probably get off of it. It's not about what's right and wrong. It's about what you can prove. And I do wonder what the Premier League can do. Otherwise, you're going to have egg all over their face. CodeLogic, Chelsea have 74 charges. Exactly. What's happening with Chelsea being charged 74 times? I've not seen any of that. Again, it's not about what's right and wrong. It's about what you can prove. Let's see. I mean, the thing is, the City case is going to make a precedent for what's going to go forward. So if City get away with these 115, then forget about the rest of it. No one's getting charged. I think it could have ramifications for the Premier League that I don't even think they've thought about. It would absolutely make a mockery of the Premier League. This is why it's so important that we get these charges done, and whether or not they'll get done for those. It's just going to be interesting to see the ramifications and the outcome of those charges. Illegal payments, it doesn't surprise me. Aiden Makubu says, I support United. Welcome here, my friend. Absolutely welcome here. Don't forget, give us a like, favourite, and subscribe. Get into the chat. There's memberships on there. There's going to be some members-only stuff as well. We'll do some stuff around that as well. So feel free to get in there. CodeLogic, do you think Cheeto needs a loan? He's not playing much football at all. It's important time. I agree with CodeLogic. I do. I think that Cheeto does need to go on loan. I think the problem that we've got is that because we've been so stuck. So the problem that we got, right, and this is where I'm going to go back to the past. So one of the things I like to do on here is go back to the past. Not because, don't get me wrong, the glory days, there's a picture there, past days, right? But I go back to it to look for clues, and I go back to look to see what lessons that I can take from the past. And even with teams nowadays, right? I wouldn't want Cheeto to go out on loan, but I think you're right. So if we had been the team back in the 90s, and I'm not even necessarily talking about we need to be winning league after league after league, but if we had a more settled, experienced team of winners, winning the odd league here and there, or winning more cups and trophies, and we had a settled team, being able to bring these young players in would be brilliant, because what we could then do is we'd have such a settled team that they wouldn't need to come in and fans would be on their back completely. Right. This is why when the likes of Giggsy came in, the likes of Beckham came in, the likes of Scholesy came in, people forget they were 22, 23 before they were able to really come in and play lots and lots of games. The problem that we got is the expectation on Cheeto already is to be this world-beating player, but he's not. Like, he's a young guy, and he would get that more experience if, for example, we had more established. We've got Shesko in this team. If you look at the ranking video that we did, right? So we did a ranking video of all of the strikers, and you look at the strikers who are great players, good players, and legends. The thing that defines those players is age. They came into this club when they were 24, 25, some 28. Saha coming to the club, I think he was 28. Rude coming to the club, he was about 23, 24. Andy Cole, 24, 25. Rooney came in a young lad, but at that time he had Rude there. He still had some of these amazing strikers. I think he had Saha was still there as well. So I agree. I agree with you, whereby I think Cheeto needs a loan, but I also think then that's a failure because Cheeto, there's no doubt that he's a great player. But if we'd have had a settled squad with better strikers in it and more depth, you'd be able to feed him in. You could be winning. You could be winning against like a Leeds, and then you'd chuck him on because you're going to win the game. Sorry, even if you were winning the game 2-0. If I'm winning a game right now with these players and we're winning 2-0 in the 60th minute, I'm petrified that they're going to come back into it. Back then, you'd know that that's the end of the game, and it's a failure. It's a failure for me. You've got a player as good as that who has to go out on loan because we can't give him that game time. And I agree with you completely. United to get smashed at the weekend, not brave, mate. That has been said many, many times. That has been said many, 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 many times. And we come back and we actually do that. Whilst we are talking, Fabrizio has come out and we can actually bring this into the show live as well. I'm going to see where this is as well. I'll go through the comments as well. I support the reign of JB, our supreme leader. Thank you, sir. I'm glad you do. Let's have a little look. I'm just going to look live whilst we're talking. Let's have a little look. Chelsea charges has just come out. See what we can do. Give that a minute to come up and we can talk about it. Let me go through the chats. Not Brain May says YouTube stuff. Let me just run things. Hey, you're the greatest person ever. Thank you. The tier list stream is probably the greatest stream or video to ever exist. What can I say, mate? I try my hardest. I really, really do. Let's have a look. So Chelsea. Oh, come on. Sorry, guys. I want to get this live and read it, not verbatim. I want to read it live. Chelsea charges. Fabrizio. Okay. Chelsea are hit with 74 alleged charges for rule breaches during the Abramovich era. Let's have a look. Chelsea have been charged by the Football Association to agents, intermediaries, and third-party investments. Well, okay. Charges have said to have come throughout the tenure of former owner Roman Abramovich, which was 23 to 22. A statement read, the Football Association has today charged Chelsea FC with the breaches of regulations J1, C2 of the FA Football Agents Regulations, A2 and A3 of the FA, working with intermediaries regulations A1 and B3. In total, 74 charges have been brought against them. The conduct, this is subject to the charges, ranges from 2009 to 2022. Primary relates to events which occurred between the season 2010-11 to 2015-2016. Chelsea have until the 19th of September to respond. The Chelsea statement says they're pleased to confirm that it's engaged with the FA concerning the matters that was self-reported by the club and is now reaching a conclusion. So, Chelsea, there we are. So Chelsea are clearly trying to do some sort of deal. So they've reported themselves clearly. So I wonder what that means. I think that's an interesting talking point. Bring it into the show. Let me know. It's really quite cool when things happen. Man United City have 150 FFP charges now. Well, let's hope that they all stick. It would also be easier for Cheeto if we play with two strikers and one was experienced. Exactly, Code Logic. Exactly. I agree with you completely. I think it would be easier to bring in. Seriously, if the tier list was such an amazingness, then I'm fitter than a Premier League. This will be the greatest video ever if you are the greatest YouTuber person ever. Thank you, my friend. I mean, that is very, very high praise. I'm not sure I'm worthy of that praise, my friend, but I appreciate the praise. I think one thing I will say on here that I think we do extremely well is I think we cover topics ahead of time. I think we cover quite a lot, and the things that we predict or the things that we talk about do tend to happen. So, and that is all thanks to this community, this amazing community that we've built, and we're still trying to build this community. So I think going back to slightly, and feel free to get in with the Chelsea comments as well. This has come out an hour ago. I wonder, and apparently there's a deduction in points as well for Chelsea. So I don't know whether this is going to happen this year. Interesting, Tom. No, you deserve everything. You're the greatest person ever. On the TV stream is the best ever video. Well, what can I say? Again, very, very high praise. It's always nice to have a fan out there. So, thank you. Very, 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 very kind of you to say that. But again, I think this community, I am only as good as the community. The community, you guys make this place an amazing place to be and make me want to do this. Will I be live tonight? Maybe not tonight. Birthdays again, so the birthday season, I may not be live tonight. Sadly, I might try and sneak in a show. I've also been doing some recording as well for my other channel as well, so hence the new trainers there as well. They're really, really cool actually. That was a really, really cool box. When do you consider, when do you think I'll be considered a legend in the stream? You're already a legend of the stream. Already. The menu does random things. You're already a legend of the chat. You always hear anybody that comes into this chat, right? Is whether you bring in one chat, two chats, 1,000 chats. It's all appreciated. But you're always in here. Legend of the chat completely. Scott, I have to say, Scott, you are the first member. First super chat as well. So, Jamie Vargas, another legend in the house. Hey, brother, just wanted to wish your daughter a happy birthday. September babies are the best. Jamie, thank you, my friend. Legend, and I appreciate that. The birthday season in my house is nearly finished. My other half is in a couple of weeks' time, but from September to October is pretty much like the birthday season in my house. So it's done. So two of those in 2 weeks. Pretty much. But what I did do, and so my daughter, she supports the club, so she absolutely loves the club. So she's got like a shirt. She's got the shirts. But what I did do this year for her, which she hasn't had it yet, is I bought her a VR like headset thing. So I'm looking forward to opening that. So she's going to love that. And then what I am going to do as well at some point is I am going to take her up to watch a game as well, because she really wants to go. So in a couple of I don't know whenever we've got some time together, I'm going to take her up to Manchester, and we're going to go and watch a game. So I don't know what game that is. I'm always here, mate. And that you are Scott. Scott's a little bit of a wheeler dealer. 100%. September babies tend to do better in school because they're the oldest in the class. That's true. I have a daughter who is the youngest in her year, August 29th. So one of the youngest in her year, and then my middle one is oldest in her year as well. So but the difference, there's like 5 years in it. So but yeah, the youngest one though, never sleep on the younger ones, because they are never sleep in them. So VR set, I'm looking forward to that. Will I be back tonight? I'm not sure. I have a couple of videos and commitments that I do have to make for the other channel that I've got. Hence, there's why there's more shoes up there. So when we were talking about my shoes, there are more shoes up there today. I received that package. Really, really quite cool. Have to go, but remember, in my eyes, you're the greatest person with the best video ever. Greatest thing every and very. Thank you very much. And you seem to be an amazing dad. Well, mate, what can I say? You need to talk to my wife. You 100% need to talk to my wife. Tell her what an amazing person I am. Yeah, I'm kidding, but appreciate it. Thank you. So Chelsea, if you have just joined, Chelsea 74 charges against them, self-reported as well. So I don't know basically what that means in terms of, does it mean they get a lower deduction of points? Now Everton, I believe, I can't remember if they got those points back, but they had a couple of breaches. So I wonder if Chelsea are going to try to do some sort of deal with the FA and what that means for City. I don't know whether City, it means that they're going to wait for these charges to come out and then City get away with it scot-free. Interesting one. So just to round up really today's show, Fernandes, just talked about Fernandes. I think he's here for another year. I think he's basically in a transition time. I think it's more of a transitional period. I do think Amorim really thinks of Mainoo as the long-term, think of it as a succession plan, effectively. So at work, for example, let's just say that they want you to, someone's going to leave and you're going to take their role. They give you a succession plan to go, look, when they leave in 3 months' time, we need you to do X, Y, and Z. So I think they're going to spend the next year bringing Mainoo up to speed and to what it is they're trying to do. Now, my problem with that is that Mainoo's going to need a partner, and Casemiro's going. Casemiro is definitely going to go. He's not going to be here next season. So I think we need a midfield partner to come in the January window. Apparently, there are funds to do that. Anderson has been mentioned as well. Belieber has been mentioned as well. I don't think we get both, because I think if Mainoo's, and I do believe this, Mainoo is going to be that new number 8. You only really need one. Well, we probably do need 2. So I think these next 3 months, I think, are going to be an interesting couple of months. I think let's see how much of this is spin. As I've said, and I will always prefix whenever we talk about this stuff, is that we need to prefix that with, we know this club is famous for spin. This club loves to spin us around. So are we going to get a midfielder in the next window? Anyone's guess. Cold logic, Mazraoui can play in pivot. For now, he has all that attributes. I agree with you. I think we should try him there. What? Casemiro, I mean, people talk about Casemiro being in there for balance. He's in there because there's no one else. I mean, so I think that I would play Mazraoui there. I think if you're going to play Ahmad as a wing back, which he's going to, I think Mazraoui should be trialled in there. I really do. I think I agree with you on that one. I think Mazraoui, I think you're right. I think he's perfect. I think he'd be a perfect replacement. I think with Mazraoui, he's that perfect player that can do lots of different things. Lots of different roles. Centre back. I think his best position is probably right back or right wing back, maybe probably a right back. But I think there's no reason why we can't put him into that number 6 centre midfield role. Agree with you completely. So I'll give the last comment to you. I think that's great. I agree. I think he's a very versatile. He's a Fergie player. Ferguson would have loved him. I think Fergie would have absolutely loved him. I think I don't want to compare him to like an O'Shea, because I think he's better than O'Shea, but he's that player that can play in multiple of positions. If you want to play him as a centre back, you can play him on as a right wing back, left wing back, left side of. You can pretty much play him anywhere. Probably stick him in a number 10 as well, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think you're right. so I'm going to go. I'll be back if anything else does break. Everything else seems to be breaking around Chelsea right now. So if I was their channel, I would go and do something on that one. I'm not sure when the press is out. I'll look at that, and when that comes out, we can talk about that as well. I will try and put something else together for the members community. We'll do some sort of quiz as well. I'll try and set things up. There's many rods in the fire to do some stuff on here. So let's see what happens. But guys, yeah, feel free to get into the comments. I'm on X, Outlook as well. So if you've got any ideas for the community, that kind of stuff, give us a shout. But yeah, thank you for being here, guys. Again, another hour's gone by quickly on a topic that we talk about, and then we always go randomly into different things as well, which I think as it should be. I think it should be led by you guys. Can you do a football quiz stream? I am going to. I am going to do a football quiz stream, but I'm going to make that a members only for now. So if you do want to be part of that, get into the member section, get a badge against your name. There's, I'm going to have to start doing stuff for the members as well. So if you want to be part of that, memberships I think are reasonably priced. When will you post a new video? And I've got a couple of new videos. I've got a 2 planned, so they'll be coming out over the next day or two. I think there'll be one tomorrow, and then there'll be one next weekish. I think so. So yeah. So guys, I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe. Check us out. Watch some of the videos that we did. Does that say? That says tier. So it says TYR. So tier. I'll go into something completely different. So tier is basically a Norse mythology god. So basically, what they're trying to say is that their trainers are basically like heroes. Yeah. So me and Bobby's are the members, guys. So we will do maybe what we'll do is that we'll do what we'll do is we'll book in a members quiz. Right. Let's get a members quiz. Maybe we'll do for next week. Maybe we'll give it a week for people who want to join, become members, and you can get into that quiz as well. So the more people that we have as members, the quiz, and we can we'll do a quiz. We'll get some beers going. We'll just have a laugh. I'll be the question master. You guys can you guys can be the lambs to the slaughter. And maybe I'll do a prize. Maybe I'll do a prize as well. So let's see. FC 26 as well. I need to bring in my Xbox in here as well. Set that up as well. Trust me, there are in 8 days. I'm sure I can manage to set things up in that time. Yeah, we've got time. We've got time. So yeah, I'm going to put something up about the quiz as well. So let's get in there, members. Get it out there to people. Get part of the quiz. I'll do some sort of prize as well. So there's an incentive to get in there as well. Maybe I'll give like a football shirt away, something like that. You guys can pick like a football shirt, what color, and then I'll give that away. So yes. So let's see. Guys, amazing. If I can be back, if there's an opportunity to be back this evening, I will be back. If not, understand. Obviously, family comes first. But yeah, it doesn't mean they're more important than this channel. Of course they are. But yeah, I wanted the new United one. Well, look, all I'm going to say is that let's get the quiz. Let's get enough people in the quiz, and then I will offer a prize. I'm not going to promise let's see. So if we can get the numbers up, and the moment that the numbers up to make the quiz worthwhile, I'll give away a prize. Yeah. So on that note, guys, we do need more members. So I might put something up in the community post. I'll do like a community quiz. and we need more members. So we need more members to get into this, and just make this a bit more interesting, because quizzes are good, right? Exactly. So I'll try and get some more members in, and we can do a quiz. And yeah, I'll give away a prize. So on that note, guys, thank you for watching again. Another great show. I will, Scott, again, we'll do like a members only show as well, or some sort of show where we just talk about random stuff, right? So yeah, guys, legends as always. Bobby, Scott, Cold Logic, Namira does random things. Jamie Vargas, not Bray May, thinks we're going to lose. Disagree. Aiden, Obi, Jomu, Alitello, Animish, Zayandina, Irfan, AKM. Hopefully I've not missed anyone out. Joseph Blake as well. Germany, the whole country, N7. Yeah, guys, absolutely amazing. Guys, see you very soon. Have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care.